Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry and it's time for some more Tainted Grail. And in this episode I believe we're heading back towards the graveyard so that I can gather up some more skulls and bones to craft part of the Revenant armor. While I'm there, I might as well also look into the matter of the Necromancer. It's starting to reach the point where I may be able to deal with him. And yeah, as I said, trying to do it around level 6 or 7 on the previous patch was like not gonna happen. Let us keep our wits about us as we progress in that direction. I believe there is a knave there. A villain who means to do us ill. He has a bow. We have a bow. We shot him first, like Han Solo. Now, there's another one who's respawned down there. Might be one or two more of them. Let's not bother. We're going to have enough to do in the crypt as it is. Then again, is that truly where we wish to go? We could explore this little island over here at some point. Additionally, this is a location we might like to visit, and we could get there through the graveyard, which would avoid the bear in this direction. Branded and exiled up here as well. Interesting, because that used to be right here next to Drinking Buddies. Just saying. In terms of time, ooh, we're halfway through the day already. Yeah, maybe the crypt then. We shall see. The Grindelows are back. Damn it, there's the bear. Okay, we'll just go this way then. The bear's kind of settled it. Okay, to go for a little jog up towards this flickering torch. And I might look at tweaking graphics options at some point as well. Right then, you. And now we'll go in. Because why not? Our weapon is interesting. We put our weapon away to come in here. Well, here we are then, in the crypt of the Necromancer. I should probably have gone to the other crypt instead. There appears to... memories, let's just say. These statues of knights are not always statues, and are not always honourable like knights. This is a copy of the Adventures of the Swan Knight, which we purchased for 500 gold from a blacksmith, when we could have read it here for free.
Who goes there? Are you the one responsible for all that racket? People are trying to rest in peace, damn it.
I'm sorry?
You should be. These folks fell into their eternal slumber a long time ago. But some of them have turned out to be very light sleepers. Not their fault, but we should at least try not to wake them up. I'm telling you, ever since people started burning their dead, it's like they've forgotten proper manners in places like this.
Who are you?
My name's Huardok, and I am the keeper of this place. I look after the dead, or at least, I try to. It used to be much easier where they stayed in one place. Now I need to keep making sure they don't stray too far from the cemetery. But I'm not complaining. A little exercise is good for the body.
How long have you lived here?
Truth be told, I'm not quite sure. Has it been a long time since the wave came and swallowed the village? That was when people stopped coming here. It's like the sea washed away the memory of this place as well. I don't remember much of what happened afterwards. I must have fallen asleep for a while.
Wait, you're not dead, are you?
Dead, alive, what's the difference? I am here. I always have been, and I always will be, until the day I'm released from my service.
It would seem he's been here longer than the Necromancer, or at least so he believes. Do you know anything about what's been happening here?
I know everything that happens here. If you're looking for some juicy gossip, Becca from the third row south still has no idea where her husband is. They were supposed to be buried together, you see, but he never showed up. The scoundrel. Everyone here thinks he got remarried and chose to rest with his second wife. Not me. I think he probably got eaten.
I see. Well, I meant the undead. There've been quite a lot of them of late.
Oh, that would be Master. He's been at his experiments again, I'm afraid. Getting the folks around here all agitated. Putting them back to sleep again is going to be such a chore.
What kind of experiments has he been up to?
Dunno. Usual. Glowing chalk, candles, and dead bodies. I even saw some new faces recently, but they didn't stay long.
New faces and new corpses, or new people coming to visit him? Who is the Master?
Master is Master. He commands the dead. I don't know much else. I'm here to serve, not to ask questions.
I see, and where is he at this point?
You want me to betray his trust that easily? We barely know each other. I wouldn't tell you even if I could.
Very well. Why do you serve him?
Because it's my purpose. The sole reason I was brought back. That has never changed, just as I haven't. But I'm happy where I am. The dead need company too, you know. The folks here were forsaken by the living. At least I can make sure they're not lonely.
So Huardok may not have been here longer than the Necromancer. I need to enter this crypt.
Interested in local history, are you? Good, good. The memory of those who came before us should be preserved. I can let you in. There is a small fee of 5 gold coins, for the upkeep of the cemetery, of course. It's constant work, as you can clearly see, and my petitions for additional funds seem to have fallen on deaf ears.
Very well. I'll pay.
Bless you, kind stranger. Those old bones are not what they used to be. Here,
So true.
just take the key. Be careful, though. There's evil dwelling in those crypts. Oh, and I hope I don't need to remind you not to rob any graves. It's terribly rude, and I'd rather not deal with the complaints.
I see. You know what? We might as well respect his wish. Now, there was a bug at some point in early access. I believe it's been fixed now, but some people still experience it. Attempting to leave this crypt can cause the game to crash, and the only way to fix it is to load a save prior to entering the crypt. Yeah, well, save outside. Don't load a save inside. That being said, I'm going to save inside in case it doesn't crash, just so I can have a backup. We'll save in the disruption slot. As I said, I haven't experienced this crash for a very long time. I only experienced it once or twice. There's another one of those statues of a stone knight with a two-handed sword. We'll be seeing a lot of those in this crypt. Look, mate, if you're not going to fight back... There we go. That is not a crypt. Oh, hello. There we go. There's a lot of enemies moving around in here that I'm apparently aware of. Where? Oh, hello. There we go. That's one less. Look at that. One of his pauldrons has fallen off. Sometimes these statues like to come to life and attack us. This is why I'm being very careful and looking at all of them. Now there's some interesting... Okay. These two are also missing pauldrons. There's some interesting theories among players as to what causes these to come to life. Some believe it's if you turn your back on them. Others, that acts of grave robbing cause them to come to life. He now appears to be standing outside his alcove. No. Okay, I see some interesting ankle clipping there. In my experience, there's only one or two that activate. But when they do, they're surprisingly silent about it. I mean, these are very tempting, but we were warned. I believe it's one down here. One of these two, I think. Yep. Let's get a little more space. A very heavy sword. Let's hold on a moment because we are... Oh, that might put us into really heavily over encumbered. Looking at the top up here, I might have to leave that and come back for it once I know it's safe here. Speaking of safe, we're down 7 points of endurance. That's not much. But what have we got? 36, 54. Okay. That is good. Looks like I can mine it. Very, very tempting. And then the second one, I think, is down along here somewhere. Oh, lovely. Well, at least now we can justify a healing item. 26. Okay. There we go. Yep. You. And another cracked stone sword. A very heavy weapon with high damage and a high strength requirement, but incredibly slow. Might be worth picking up in the long run. Now I think those are the only ones who will attack. But they are also the things most likely to give me any trouble down here. I shouldn't have said that, because there's also a necromancer. Speaking of which, let us see how that goes. More mining opportunities. Excellent stuff.
Careful there. Try not to step on the array. It's advanced magic. Very fragile.
You've chosen a rather peculiar place to practice your craft.
Quite the contrary. This place is perfect. I've read that the soil of the south is steeped with the type of energy I require. But what I've encountered here surpasses all my expectations. I have the ideal conditions and the perfect subjects. I'm doing everything right, and still nothing bloody works. There must be some sort of interference. Or maybe it's the bones. Always seems to be the bones.
I mean, I suspect it's Huardok, but I wouldn't know personally.
Oh, you're still here. I advise you to leave. My work requires concentration, and I've no time for interruptions from grave robbers.
I'm not a grave robber.
I don't care what you are, just as long as you're not here.
Aren't necromancers just grave robbers who are very, very thorough? Right, so a grave robber steals the bodies. A tomb raider, or tomb robber, steals the things that are buried with the bodies.
Ha ha ha, very funny. I'll have you know that I'm conducting valuable research. Research that could be crucial to the future of Avalon.
And I'm here to stop you.
Very well. Do you know what I like most about the dead? They don't tire, and they don't feel pain. But you will.
Get whacked, mister. Right. You know what we should do? We should keep hitting him. Because then they just all crumble. This was much harder in the previous patch, especially being about half the current level I am. Let's pick up some stuff. Yorath's journal, a solution for disobedience, revenant armor, sounds like we know that already. Skull staff, burning ember, skeleton army, soul surge, necromancer's mask, necromancer's robe, leather boots. He used to summon rather more. Like, he could easily get 4 or 5 summons up very quickly, and he would summon them almost quicker than they could be slain. But now that we have defeated him, and the hour is indeed getting late and we'll be going back through the weirdness anyway, we might as well take our time, get our pickaxe out, there we go, there's one. And I've heard that the pickaxe does a lot of damage to these stone knights. Disproportionate to its normal damage output. I have not tested that theory because I'm generally too busy trying to stay alive when they attack. They are slow and cumbersome, but their blows are mighty. And I know there was 2 more around here somewhere. Well, let's pick this up. I don't believe any more of the stone knights are going to attack me. I'm reasonably sure at one point in early access only one of them would attack and not 2. I also believe they hit a lot harder at the time. How am I looking for a level? Very close. Let's see what I can read. Day 24 of Birch Moon. A revelation has visited me, bringing clarity and unease. My thoughts linger on those who shunned me, driven by envy and spite. Like venomous shadows, they sought to discredit my work, poisoning others with doubt and discord. Yet I must rise above their pettiness and keep my purpose untainted. Day 30 of Birch Moon. As I unlock life's mysteries, I am reminded to remain resilient. The envious, like stealthy predators, must not distract me from transcending mortality's limits. With renewed resolve, I press forward, knowing that triumph over adversity will be my enduring legacy. And also a solution for disobedience: Revenant Armor by Dower Lufer. The air was supposed to obey. Supposed to. The dead are supposed to obey. Supposed to. Yet I've learned through painful experience that some grow rebellious. A whisper of their past selves. A flicker of defiance. It's enough to make any necromancer uneasy. So I sought a solution. If my minions insist on turning against me, why not make their remains my shield? Bone, after all, is sturdy, and with the right bindings it holds enchantments well. Ribs become pauldrons, spines reinforce a cuirass, skulls add an extra layer of protection. Silent, obedient, and most importantly, incapable of rebellion. Binding spells keep the armor from attracting restless spirits. A simple sigil of dominance ensures that no lingering essence remains. Now, when I raise the dead, I do so with confidence. And if one of them turns rogue again, well, I'll simply repurpose them into something more useful. So, the Skull Staff requires free spirituality, increases mana shield by 25%. On hit, restores 25% of damage dealt as mana. A skeleton army. And I'm going to read this one backward for a reason. Heavy cast summons a skeleton to fight by your side. Light cast orders your summoned skeletons to attack a specific target. We have Soul Salvage. Removes target summon, restoring 75% mana cost used for its initial summoning based on their current health. For light cast and the heavy cast, removes targeted summon and restores your health based on its current health and the mana cost of its initial summoning. Necromancer's Mask, Necromancer's Robe. So 10 strength required for a 30 to 50 base damage sword, which requires 69 stamina points to swing. And just for record, 69 stamina points is really quite a few. What I should probably do, and I'm not doing, is leave these swords till last when I'm about to depart from this tomb. However, since I've got a whole night to pass here in safety, allegedly, I'm not going to do that. I shall instead creep sloth. Fucking hell. Okay, this is not something I need to fight. It looked ominously like some kind of very, very impaled foe. It was only the length of this spike at the front that gave me cause to consider. I didn't see those too well from the lighting. I thought, I don't remember something being in that room coming out to attack me. I walked past it a number of times in here already. and suffered no ill effects. You, please just stay there. Not looking forward to tackling another of your kin. But while we are here, let's heft our pick once more and gather some iron ore. I'm a poet. I do know it. Probably did blow it. And then the harmonica comes in. Now, ascending this wall is going to be a little tricky, but it can be done. We have a jumping skill. I will attempt to respectfully not step on that charnel pit. And I'll leave that where it is. This place definitely has seen some... So this is supposed to be chalk, then. As he mentioned glowing chalk. It looks more like paint. And there, the scratchiness of it looks more like chalk. Do I have a torch? Of some kind? I don't believe I do. That seems really... I don't have a good clarification of what frenzy is. But... status, frenzy. Status, frenzy, descending. If I go like this... that's not helpful then, unfortunately. This tunnel seems somewhat unusual in that it exists outside the structure, maybe from some kind of older place, but it's clearly been inhabited and marked in the same manner as the rest of the crypt. I'd imagine the necromancer's been up here. We have another charnel pit incredibly close to the door. Let's edge our way around it. Again, don't want to go stepping on all those skulls and bones, especially as most of the skulls seem to be carved into the floor in an odd way. Maybe that's due to my graphics settings. Now I'm just using the graphics settings the game provided for me, and honestly, had I the option, I might not have purchased this game because of the system requirements, and I'm pleased to be able to run it at all. In fact, I backed the original Kickstarter for the board game, and they raised so much money on that, they decided to make a computer game, which was going to be similar to the board game, like a computer adaptation of it, but not exactly the same. I've actually got 3 or 4 videos showing the really early version of that they gave to us all. They're going to make a computer game and give it all to us for free as a nice little thank you. Turns out they made 2 computer games because the card combat from the first game became so popular they decided to focus on just that and made it Tainted Grail Conquest. And since they'd been promising that they would make the Fall of Avalon Tainted Grail game as well for so long, once they decided to make Conquest a standalone thing, they then decided that what they're going to do with this was something similar to Skyrim or Kingdom Come Deliverance. Or Oblivion. Okay, a practical guide to profitable armor. Guess what? I probably know those ones as well. I do indeed. I now have 2 copies. Right, okay. And a wand that requires 6. Could be a staff. No. 1 staff and rod, all essentially the same thing. Blocking regenerates 100% of the magical damage blocked as mana. Attacks generate 10% of damage dealt as mana, so I'd be using a shield with this, right? And I can drop down here into a chamber I believe I've visited before. Is there... Well... This would be where the corpse eaters were hiding. And then on the left here we've got the hallway that goes through the L-shaped hall. We've done everything here. That sounded ominously like the kind of breathing one might expect one of the Stone Knights to have. The Stone Knight attacks sound heavy, but their footsteps do not, especially when they step out from the alcoves. They are an interesting kind of foe. It's not clear whether Huardok was raised by the Necromancer, but if he can use some kind of magical ability or physical ability to lull the dead in the graveyard back to their slumber, I think he's doing a good job here. Your master is dead.
Yes, I felt that. He must have been surprised. People like him tend to forget that it can happen to them too.
So, what will happen to you now?
I guess I'll do what I always do. Clean up, put everyone back to sleep, and then take a little nap myself. Someone will come along again sooner or later. We can't have them seeing such a mess, can we?
Wait, what do you mean by what you always do? Presumably every time he's raised he behaves the same way.
Well, this master...
Oh, game minimized.
He won't be the last. This place is very popular with their kind for some reason. And they always leave it in such a state. It's not like it would hurt them to pick up a few bones and put them back in place.
I apologize for my part in the mess. I suppose this is goodbye for now.
It seems so. But before you go, I have a small favor to ask. As you can see, there's quite a commotion around here. I'm afraid I won't be able to fulfill all my duties before I need to rest again. Could you take what remains of the Master and place him in a special crypt I've prepared? If you feel so inclined, a few kind words about him would be welcome. Here's the key. Well, goodbye then, and thank you for stopping by. It was truly appreciated. Though we are dead, we still enjoy having a visitor from time to time. It's nice to be remembered, even if just for a little while.
I'm not certain I should place the Necromancer in a special crypt. Otherwise Huardok may bring him back. And if this special crypt is specially prepared for the Necromancer, have other Necromancers been placed in there in the past? Now there was a door down this side of the crypt that I did not explore, because I knew it was locked. However, since we have some time before dawn, we might as well explore and pray the stone knights do not launch an assault upon us. Slaughter, the first of many. What if it is always the same necromancer after all? Then again, perhaps not. Oh, what are these? Daffodils. Okay, let's see. Bottle tricks for siphon bomb and breath stealer. Gold talk. Abartach's calling. We already got one, didn't we? It's a spell. Light cast explodes a random nearby corpse, dealing damage and applying bleed to enemies in the area. Whereas heavy cast continuously heals you from a random nearby corpse. And medic for wayward. Okay. Some folks like big explosions. Me? I like subtlety. Magic that lingers, saps, and turns an enemy's own strength against them. That's where the siphon bomb and breath stealer come in. The siphon bomb is a lovely little thing. Toss it into a crowd and it'll pull magic right out of your foes, feeding it back to you. The more enemies caught, the more power you get. It's like stealing drinks at a feast without anyone noticing. The breath stealer is nastier in its own way. It rips the wind from their lungs, drains their stamina, makes them slow, weak, and real easy to put down. Toss it at a charging brute and watch them stagger like a drunk in a storm. Neither will kill outright, but that's not the point. Use them wisely and your enemies won't even realize they've lost until they've already beaten. Might be worth making that breath stealer when we go up against something like the ogre. I wonder if it would work. Collect his master's remains. A special place he prepared. Feels well dodgy. Septos. He wished to raise his beloved, but chose to join her instead. May they both rest in peace. So presumably we just look for one of an empty beer. We'll leave that there. We'll leave those two. We've probably taken too much already. Oh, hello. That looks rather ominous. Dissimilar to the other stone knights, but incredibly large. That pommel bobbing into view there was disconcerting, to say the least. Aephion. His music alone would have made him immortal. Everything else was unnecessary. Oh, this is the place. The Waning Ward. Well, let's mark it. I may need to be carrying the remains first. Not sure how. Am I going to have to drag the whole body all the way here? If I do inter him in this special tomb, does that make me a necromancer? Or is there just something we can now loot from his body that we couldn't before? Why the autosave just there? That's awfully suspicious. At least we're moving in a respectful manner. We're not running in this place of rest, clattering loudly down the halls like children, dashing about with gay abandon, colliding with walls and corners. Ooh, that looked ever so slightly like his elbow raised. It was a trick of camera motion, but you never know. Now, Yorath's remembrance. So his body is turned to ash. Perhaps then we only need to press to perform the inscription, and that will place remembrance on the altar, on the bier. It's not an altar. An altar is a place of worship. A bier, B-I-E-R, is a big stone slab upon which things are laid to rest. You could almost refer to it as a stone table, although that would rather obviously remind us of a rather different story. Now, a bier can also be the large lid of a coffin, table-like, in some regards. Yes, like the body doesn't have to be on top of it, it can be underneath it. I've come too far, have I not? I indeed have not. So be it, then. Let us pray that nothing overly dire occurs as a result of this. I don't believe I've actually carried out this little side quest as a result before, or if it locks me in. It's like, ha ha ha, now you die here. No, that wouldn't make much sense. But I will say, if we do this, we go back and speak to Huardok again. He may thank us and say that he can rest now, or something like that. We don't appear to be able to. There we go, and now? Despite his methods, his heart was in the right place. Rest in peace. No. He was a fool and a maniac. Thank the gods he's dead now. You're welcome. You picked a bone of the wrong person. It was a grave mistake. No, we'll go for the middle one. That got us a level. I mean, we were close anyway. Don't know exactly how much we got. But let's get out of here. Apparently, you can convince the necromancer to let his own minions kill him or to commit suicide or something. I've never tried. Only heard about that recently. Perhaps for a different character with a different personality, that might be something to explore. You just keep talking to him until he eventually, I don't know, you persuade him to become one with the undead. Time is now good to leave. Let's hope we can make it to the keep before darkness. And with that time, we might actually not be able to. Oh, I don't like these doors that swing both ways. That's an incredibly modern thing. Huardok has moved on. He is no longer here. And we could pick up his copy of Adventures of a Swan Knight if we have not already done so. And now we'll get to find out if the game's going to crash. As I said, I haven't seen that happen for a very long time, but people have been reporting it more recently. So let's find out together. We got a load screen. That's great. I'm probably going to have to fight my way through skeletons to get out of here. Now, when it comes to this level, oh, nice. I think those are the ones I killed. I don't think they've all just dropped dead, by the way, because I can see more moving around over there. Right. It's a shield. 50 block. Not 80. Might have less let's see. Each blocked hit increases the shield block by 5% up to 100%. The effect resets after 15 seconds of not blocking any damage. I see now why it's at 50. It may also have less clipping. Right. Crafting. 6 bones, 3 skulls. I hope that'll be enough. Because if I stay here fighting skeletons, it may get very dark before I return to safety. Wait a minute. I think I felled those 2 foes and stepped straight into the crypt. Nope. Nope, I looted them thoroughly. So be it then. That looks suspiciously like a hand. And indeed it is. Perhaps from some long-buried statue that resides here. From an age long forgotten now. And there we see the horns of the south waiting for us. And we might make it back before dark. We may even have enough time to trade. And craft a little. Purchase all the leather. Most importantly of all, though, report our success to the quartermaster, who will soon, I presume, as we've done most of the quests here, want to progress the main storyline. And I feel there are more things we should do before that manner of progression occurs. So when it comes to this level, I'd like to address a slight imbalance between our spending of ability points and skill points. each of the pages of skill trees or sections is related to one of the ability scores, in that it exemplifies things that ability score do and synergizes well with it. However, they are not tied strictly to one another. If I spend a point in an ability score, I can spend the corresponding skill point for that level in a completely different abilities skill trees. And while I admire the ability and freedom to do so, I also feel that actually pretending I have to do 1-for-1 on a matchup feels more realistic and fair, and more importantly, will probably synergize rather better than my current way of doing things. For instance, I have a lot of skill points in the armor skill tree, which is in the practicality section, but not as many points in the practicality ability score. Likewise, I have more points in the strength ability score than I have in strength skill trees. There are probably some others I should tweak as well, right? And if I spend the next few levels trying to address that balance, that would probably be a good thing. I do like the fact that we're learning to use our armor better, becoming more resilient, surviving. And we haven't had to come across any weird spawn yet this episode, so that's great. Ooh, that stag coming streaking out of the side there at quite a pace caught me a little off guard. I saw just his snout and head without the antlers and presumed it might be some manner of new threat coming to assail me, even though that would be pretty daft. Fear not, kind heart. I shall not fuck you over with weapons and hunting. Contents of this cart, on the other hand, just check. There we go. Now please don't do a Skyrim and run directly along the road in a way that animals simply do not, because that would be incredibly daft. If anything, animals flee away from roads. On the whole, there's probably some animals... Yeah, I'm thinking of bison and buffalo in America who used to decide that trains were a challenge and charge them head on along the tracks. Apparently the train was a rival trying to steal their territory or loved ones or something. Generally the trains won these conflicts in a rather brutal and savage manner. Pretty one-sided, really. But still, as excuses go for stopping a journey, I suppose it beats having the wrong kind of leaves on the track. Yeah, British Rail has come up with some... Let's go with hilarious reasons for stopping a train over years. The wrong type of leaves on the track is the most obvious one. There's also... Now, unless that's a euphemism for, like, a dead body or something. It's like... Okay. I think at one point they've also come up with the wrong kind of snow on the track as well. Let's part with some of these inferior rusty items. There we go. There we go. Now, I don't like this helmet in particular. I'm going to keep both of these because something this unusual deserves to go to Osbrit the blacksmith. and one of them may very well go into my storage chest. I don't believe I'm ever going to save up that much strength, but it will be worth having so that I can compare the stamina cost to any other strength 10 weapons I might encounter along the way. Here we are. Osbrit, I've got something very unusual for you. I mean, for 6 coins, it's really nothing very special. You know what? Why don't I buy the level while I'm here? I'm sure it can be put to good use. I'll also chop some wood afterwards. In terms of time, oh, we got plenty of time. Let's go see the quartermaster and hope he doesn't automatically advance the main quest. I must admit, I am not looking forwards to the watery one involving the sea monster. We've done some jogging, but still swimming may be really rough. And I should check to see if I need to improve my drowner gear. Because I think one part of it may be weak. Possibly the breastplate. But I suspect that using those two will be crucial to that fight. I also suspect it will be a fight. About the Forgotten Cemetery.
Yes? Did you find out what's been happening out there?
A necromancer was conducting experiments in the cemetery. He's not your problem anymore.
Great. A necromancer. Just what we needed. It wasn't the dark druid from the legends, was it?
No.
Good thing you got rid of him then. We already have the Dalriada almost on our doorstep. We don't need an army of the undead to boot. You did well. Maybe it's not so bad having you here.
Right, I'm not going to tell him I'm here for the sword. I'm not going to say I'd like to speak to the captain yet because I have other things to do. You know what, there's a fire right here. It says walking down to the courtyard, doesn't it? Let us do that. So, 4, 8. So these will start at 1, so it'll be 1 less. So 4, 8, 2, 2, 5, 1. 4, 8, 2, 2, 5, 5, 1. These are the other way around on the character sheet. Okay, so so we got 9 points here, so that would mean we want to try and build a 10 practicality. So 6 would be a good step in that direction. We should also try and get a strength of 5 at some point soon. Strength is probably the most overlooked here. So Unending Assault. Increased damage for each consecutive one-handed weapon hit by 1% up to 5%, which would lead into increased critical chance for consecutive hits, or having a free offhand, no. Dual wielding, no. Heavy attacks. We are lured into heavy attacks or stuck in heavy attacks after blocking sometimes. So heavy attacks have a 5% chance to stun. We'll probably scale. Hits against the same enemy within 5 seconds. Reduces stamina cost of each consecutive one-handed weapon hit. That's probably really good. Increased chance of each consecutive one-handed weapon hit to restore full stamina. By yes. Okay, so we'll take powerful blows. as that opens up free to, on the way to free, very nice traits. And if I spend the next few levels trying to balance these out of our ability scores, it may synergize ever so slightly better, because strength is giving us our one-handed weapon damage. We also have the general tree we could lean into. Maybe even a bit of two-handed weapon use. But we've done well there. Let us go stow this monumental stone blade, if we can call it a blade. Then see if we can go chop some wood. Then I reckon a little bit of crafting. Oh yes. Here we go. And we are now no longer over encumbered. Excellent. Okay. Let's go make some things. And we are... I shouldn't have done that, should I? Both pieces of the Revenant's armor. Okay. I came to look at... Look, there's the Revenant's cowl. I've made it. Right, Flayed Drowner's Conch +1. Am I carrying it already? Flayed Drowner's Carapace +1. So I've made one already of a decent quality. Let's put that back then. So I did have to pick it back up. Okay, Revenant's Ribcage, here we come. And we can perhaps overpower this with ingredients or just make some good stuff in the meantime. Oh, this is very full. Let's get a full 18 wood then, while we are at it. Again, the rhythm for this is ever so slightly faster than that of actually chopping wood, because the wood teleports from the ground up to the chopping block at a faster rate than a human could realistically pick it up and lift it across at. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be much slower, right? It'd be about maybe 3/4 of that speed, maybe even a little faster. So it's not a massive offset, but it is slightly odd. Right, so... well, we could overpower it with plenty of metal. Let's go like that. Let's go 14. There we are. And now for this. If we put it all in. Okay, +1. Reasonable odds. I think... how low can we go? Okay. 31, that's a lot. We should perhaps just be... okay. Then if we overpower here and we go... okay, so if we ignore all that and instead look at our other options, let's make some iron arrows. Those spears are still weak. Okay, we'll try this. two-handed spear. Okay, let's go 1, 2, 3. Oh, we made a good spear. And we make some gloves. Just getting practice in. Because we can buy more leather to make armor with later on. Excellent. I'm not going to be tricked into that again. Not that it was much of a trick, mind. You know what, that is good odds. Let's just waste a lot of metal and make 3. Because that should be very good crafting skill for us. Oh yeah, we got 2 points of skill. Well, Master Smith, I have made the armor based on your notes.
I might retire early and let you take over the forge. Joking aside, that's some bloody fine work. Looks like you've handled everything I had for you. If you're hungry for more knowledge, you might want to seek out a blacksmith from the tribes. Say what you want about the Dalrida, but those bastards have tricks up their sleeves that even I don't know.
Sounds like something for Act 2. Well, in the meantime, let's sell a spear, 3 poniards, again oddly spelt, another spear, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pairs of leather gloves. So, massively reduced armor and weight. Increases melee damage by 20%, increases weak spot damage by 20%. Excellent if I know what weak spots are. And that's the same but 10s, and again a big step down in armor. Also I would look like some kind of Skeletor fanboy. Just to prove a point. I think my point is quite clear, don't you? Let's go back to wearing something more in line with my current playstyle. Also, there is still clipping. Oh, that's really long. Nose to knee is ideal for a shield. Knee would be about here. I'm thinking it might be about that far into the ground, actually, when raised in front of us. I'll have to wait till full release to find out. But I now have a magic shield. Ooh, which I could arguably enhance. But it won't improve the block chance. Because that would just be daft, right? It will improve the block chance. Interesting. Intriguing. I don't believe I will. And these now require some strange metal we do not know. So, oh. How about the helmet? I know I've used all the leather. So yeah, maybe I'll try to overpower that with leather in a day or so. For now though, I've done reasonably well. The time strongly suggests Betty buys. And that's a good way to end the episode. However, I think it may be potion time. Why not get a little more experience while we're here in the keep? And perhaps now I've been here long enough that the Red Priest won't get suspicious if I speak to him. I believe he seems to be outcast from his people, so he may be less prejudiced against us. But I should still be careful speaking with him all the same. And then in the next episode, I imagine I'll be going out, you know, exploring and completing quests in the nearby area. I should probably invest in one of these. 500, 100, 132. With the alembic among the tribes, the Picts. If I just go after the Conclave, Druidic Alchemy Volume 2, we'll go with that. And since he wants us to perform a druidic ritual, this should not arouse too much suspicion. The use of mandrake in alchemy sparks controversy due to its unsettling origins. Some see it as bordering on the dark arts, while others view it as just another plant, uninvolved in its sowing. Following the eradication of the Druids during the Charred Conclave, alchemists leaned towards condemning mandrake, associating it with druidic potions. However, unlike sage, mandrake wasn't a core ingredient in their craft, even though it was undeniably versatile. Branding anything tied to druidic practices as dark arts is a troubling trend. Many esteemed alchemists built their careers on mandrake-based potions, and such work should not fall prey to zealous purifiers of our craft. Let us go and make some potions. Strong health potion, why not indeed? And let's make a strong mana potion while we're at it. Now what is this? We don't need Toothache Remedy at all. Razor Splash Concoction bleeds. Burning Splash Concoction burns, but we have to throw them. Fish Oil. We don't have enough fish. Why is this listed as available? Can we make it with less fish and it'll... Interesting. Right. Bloodsucker Potion increases lifesteal by 10% for 20 seconds. In a big fight, we may try it. If we can knock up a few of these. Now, there is something that bothered me, so I'll address that now. Under practicality, crafting and trading, your potions require 50% less alcohol. Every potion that I have seen requires only 1 bottle of alcohol. How's that going to work? We make 2 potions. And combined with reusable resources, so what? How do we use half a resource? That's odd. But we have made ourselves a great number of potions, and that is grand. Alright, well I'm reckoning. Quick map check. Nothing left to do down here. Well, actually no, there's people we could go see down there. If I'm going to rest, I should do it at the end of the episode rather than beginning of the next one. For 2 reasons. Number 1, I might forget and just stroll out into the arms of the darkness and get murdered by weird beasts. Number 2, it's probably more exciting to go out adventuring right at the beginning instead of saying, okay, now I've got to go and rest and spend a few minutes doing that. Right, so let's go. Yep, clearly the hour is... It's not even that late, it's only coming up to about 2 in the morning. I've just had a very sleepy day. Very sleepy evening. Here we go. And with that, we can... What happened? I know what happened. When I pressed the W key, my finger accidentally touched the number 2 key. Which does not now. Yeah. There we go. Which pulled out the two-handed axe, which was on the number 2 slot. See, it made sense that time, and here I will genuinely end the episode. I hope you've all enjoyed this one, and I will look forward to seeing you all in the very next episode. I'll say goodbye for now though, and cheerio everyone. See you all soon.